Want to be wealthy? I got you. In today's video, I'll be letting you in on 6 lessons from Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This is his best-selling book on personal finance, which will certainly go a long way in helping you build wealth. So be sure to stick around until the end to get the most out of today's video. Lesson 1 is let your money work for you. According to Kiyosaki, the difference between wealthy people and the rest of us is that they do not stay in the job phase for very long. But don't get it twisted, you need a job to produce cash flow, at least early on in your life. That said, the rich realize early enough that they need to become the people who hire others into jobs to build wealth. On the contrary, many of us tend to spend our lives in the job phase because we're trapped by the idea that a job is the only way to make money. So of course, this notion locks you into working for money for the rest of your life. The wealthy in our society discover the significance of owning businesses early in life, and so should you. And as you might already know, running a business is all about learning how to use resources and how to use other people to earn more money than you ever could by exchanging your own labor for a salary. Let me give you an example. If you own a business, you can focus on your talents, which are basically the skills and abilities you have that hold the greatest potential for you to earn big money. After that, you can think about hiring employees or using subcontractors to do the work that generates the income. So essentially, you will stop working for money on the front line and become the overseer of the business. Lesson 2, it's not how much money you make that matters. It's how much money you keep. One of the habits that differentiates the wealthy, particularly the self-made wealthy, from the rest of us is the emphasis on saving money. For many of us, spending is a top priority in our budgets, and we save whatever remains. Let's have an example here. Assume you have a net household income of $5,000 per month. After paying necessary expenses and a few luxuries here and there, you have $250 left to savings. In this case, only 5% of your net monthly income is going into savings. And in many instances, this amount can still be taken up by unexpected expenses. Worse still, this amount might seem so insignificant that the savings effort is completely abandoned entirely. For the rich person, or those who want to be, it's common to find them saving 30, 40, and even 50% or more of their income. So going back to our example of $5,000 monthly income, that means saving and investing $2,500, which would be 50% of their income. Now, assuming an average annual return of portfolio of stocks and bonds, these savings invested would accumulate to $1.2 million in just 20 years. And that doesn't factor in the fact that both the income and the savings and investments contributions may increase over the years. Lesson 3 is to subscribe to the channel because it is scientifically proven that when you subscribe, your net worth goes up. Look at the graph. You can't argue with the science. I'm just kidding, but on to the next lesson. Lesson 3 is acquire assets. Acquire assets, not liabilities that you think are assets. Look at any self-made millionaire and you will likely realize that they have spent most of their life acquiring assets that generate income. This is the exact opposite of what many of us think. How so? We're always eager to embrace the consumer mindset of the media and advertising culture, which leads us to invest money in personal possessions we deem to be assets. Probably the best example is the family home. According to Robert Kiyosaki, most people think of it as the biggest asset they have and even devote a disproportionate percentage of their income to acquiring and maintaining it. However, the truth is that even while a house can build value over time, it's not an income generating asset. Quite the opposite, it costs you money to keep it. It's really not an investment until and unless you sell it. Take your money and put it in something that will yield income. Other non-income generating assets include vehicles, recreation gear, furniture, and entertainment equipment. Oh, also vacation homes. So what are some examples of income generating assets that the wealthy have? Well, common assets purchased by wealthy people are stocks, bonds, investment funds, income-generating real estate investment trust, and businesses. What all of these things have in common is that they either can generate a steady income, increase in value, or both. Lesson 4. Don't work for someone else all your life. First off, there's nothing wrong with being employed. Most self-made rich people actually started that way. However, spending your whole life or the majority of it working for another person could very much have you struggling financially well on into your old age. As an employee working in a regular 9 to 5, you're essentially trading 8 hours of your life every day for money. And since the time you can dedicate to your job is limited, so are your earnings. If you take time to think about it more deeply, you'll realize that you earn less than what you produce, because how else does your employer make money? If your input per hour is, say, $60, you'll probably get just half that in pay. Also, no matter how good your quality of work is, every position usually has an upper limit. So if you work in an occupation that pays between $60,000 and $100,000, you'll likely never take home more than $100,000, regardless of how much effort you put into it. So Kiyosaki emphasizes being self-employed, as that way there's really no limit to your income. If you're selling your skills to businesses or individuals, you can grow your hourly rate as you sharpen your capabilities. Lesson number 5, you have to beat your mental traps to become wealthy. We all have the potential to become what we want, but mental obstacles or self-limiting beliefs and habits prevent us from getting there. So to actually achieve any goal you have, you must first align yourself mentally. If you successfully overcome your obstacles, you have a much better chance at creating wealth. So what are these mental traps that are holding you back from being rich? Self-doubt. You consistently question your ability to do something. Fear. You keep away from taking risk because you fear criticism, failing, disappointment, and so on. Being pessimistic. You're always thinking about how something could fail or go wrong. Procrastination and laziness. You just don't want to do or keep pushing off something that could benefit your life because it's too tedious. Guilt for wanting too much. You criticize yourself for desiring wealth because we've all been taught that greed is horrible. Scarce resources. You never start a business or gig because you always tell yourself that you don't have the money. On to lesson number 6, keep training your mind towards wealth building. Another thing that Robert Kiyosaki talks about in his book is growing one's financial intelligence. If you feed your mind the wealth building knowledge that it needs, creating your wealth will be so much easier. On the other hand, a financially illiterate mind can have you stuck in poverty for a lifetime. Remember, learning ways to accumulate financial abundance is an ongoing journey. You constantly have to learn and adjust. That said, Kiyosaki writes that financial intelligence consists of 4 main areas: accounting knowledge, investing, understanding how the markets work, and taxation and law. Remember, wealth is a long process and it'll take time. You won't suddenly figure out how to create wealth today, but you can definitely start with these lessons from Rich Dad Poor Dad. Overall, I'd recommend reading the book to understand the context of these lessons, as Robert Kiyosaki explains it based on his experiences growing up with 2 dads. Enjoying the video? Smash the like button and share the video. I upload videos like this every week, so subscribe if you haven't already and turn on notifications so you never miss a money-making opportunity. Now, what lessons speak to you the most? If you've read the book, what other lessons have you picked up on? Drop your comment below so we continue the conversation. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.